So much stuff in there for kids. I was like, wait a minute. I was very, very surprised how much stuff was in there for kids. Um, there was puzzles. There was all the little train tracks. Thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate you, Miss Tracy. Thank you so much. They had so many things, guys. I'm telling you, like you went into that place, and if you're going, I was there. I was like, I've gone to other shows. I've gone to other places before. It's gonna be about, I'm not gonna be in there all day. It's not gonna be. I got there straight off the plane, straight off the jumbo jet, and next minute I turn around and it's 6 o'clock, guys. They close at 6, and I'm leaving at 6, and I got there at 11:30. It was just so much, and I didn't even make it to all the vendors. I never made it to the third building. I'm telling you guys, if you ever get a chance, I don't know about the other markets. I know that the Dallas market is coming up on the 23rd. I don't know about that. I don't know much about that market. But if you get to go to Atlanta market at least just one time in your life, just go and see. So you see all these little flowers that I have here. They were just like Velcroed all the way on walls. They were separated. It's no pictures. They had the real stuff all Velcroed and strapped to the wall for everyone to see in plain sight. You go in there and it's like they are asking you, do you want something to drink? It's in the middle of the day. Do you want something to drink? And I'm like, no. They had slushies. They had food. All of them just was so friendly and warm. So I had a list of people that I wanted to see. I didn't make it to all of them. And I went there for 2 days. And like I said, I left at 6 o'clock on the first day. And it's like, wait a minute, what in the world's going on here? How did I miss going there? So I had to go back the second day. And I'm glad I went back because I got to see one of the floral designers. So I also, for me, I noticed that I would see a lot of their stuff online. But guys, the inventory that these people have, the big names, the small names, the any names, I got a lot of new vendors that I have to go and start seeing if I can get some supplies from. But there was just people who I never heard of. But they had stuff, and they had some had high opening orders. That, don't get me wrong, it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. Like if you want to just stay and just buy from others, like I said, I didn't know. Yeah, there's one in Texas. Yeah, it's in Texas. It's coming up on the 23rd. It's called, hold up, I'm looking up in my phone so I can give you. If you go and type in, it's called ANDMORE. If you go just type that in, you will see the schedule. And those same vendors are there also. I know they're not shipping that stuff because I'm like, how are they going to get this to the next place? They can't. The stuff is Velcroed to the wall. There's Christmas trees, and I post some of the stuff. Yesterday afternoon I posted some of the insides are there. But there's stuff every single where that there's no way they can have it broken down and be ready for the market next week. I went up to John Mark. I know John had just released some ribbon. I saw the new ribbon. I didn't get any of his yet. I know my friend did get some. But if you go in there, if you ever want to experience... What happened here? My thing popped. Wow, I had to fix this. If you ever want to experience a time where you feel more like welcome, they appreciate you. Because when you sometimes when you order from wholesalers, back in the days when I used to order from my vendors, so this is it was stapled down, but it came out, so I have to put another one. I used to order from my vendors. They would come to my shop. So I had a physical shop, and they would come to my shop, and they would stay there all day long, all night long, and they would be there for a while I order. And then they'll go away, and then they'll eventually come back with another season. But this one, literally, they were all there for you. Every time you walked in, they would be looking at your shirt to see, do you have to bring, no, you don't have to bring anything specific. So that was one of the things. Girl, me being specific got me messed up at the TSA people. I'll tell y'all about that in a minute. But they literally went in there and they had all of it. They were so kind. They were so, I was like, wait a minute, why come into the store? They just come with a book and say, this is what we got for spring. At the show, they showed out, I'm not going to lie to you, they literally showed out everything that they had, everything that was in stock. They were taking orders. They had this little small thing that it was riding around like a little trolley thing, showing you, taking the orders. And it's like, here's a ribbon. They scanned it, added it to your order. It was so fast to order. You do need a wholesale license to go in there. They will check. But when you register, they check and upload all that information before they send you your badge. But it was one of those things that I will never ever forget. That place it wasn't full of people until it was like at night and afterwards, when you realize there was a lot of people in there. It was just so far apart that you didn't know that there was that many people in there. They had a lot. I don't even know what to say. I bought a lot. The things that you see, like when you see the different vendors will show you, hey, look what I got, show and tell. The different places we buy items for, they'll show you, look what I got, look what I did, look what I did. But when you go there, you see, maybe they'll show you they got 2 different colors of this ribbon. You go there, you realize there's 9 different colors of there. So you get to choose and you get to be a little bit more specific about what you want than just, seeing what others had. It was a great experience. And what happened to me coming back home, went to Stone Mountain afterwards, and when I come back home, I left, I saw people was cutting samples. So they give you a sample. Hold on one second, I'll show you what they give you. So what they'll do is say, they have all the ribbons open. Everything's open. There's no plastic on anything. Say if you go and you order the ribbon, they literally take it off, give you a snip, and they'll put a card on it that tells you the color and how many you bought and everything, and they'll give you the sample to take home. Mine is in my suitcase. I ain't finished emptying. Maybe I'll pull it out this week. But they'll give you a sample to take home. And that was so good because now I knew what I had at home and I knew what I was looking for because they make a list. That's one thing. This was in Atlanta. The one for Dallas is coming up on the 23rd. But this market was in Atlanta. Wholesale license. I cannot tell you how many vendors that were there that if you do a search for wreath vendors and you want to buy your stuff in bulk. So for me, I used to have my old shop where I used to do my stuff for knitting. And I would buy wholesale because I had to buy it for the shop. So I learned how to do the vendor application, all of the stuff that you had to get. So I already had a lot of it when it came time to apply to this one. So they, I have to tell them, they did a great job there. I can't say. When you go in there, you don't feel like you don't know. It was my first time. You get a badge. It says first time buyer. They'll scan your badge and they'll literally tell you, hey, walk around. If you tell them you're just looking, they left you alone. And there was just a whole bunch of knowledge. There was other vendors walking around. So I was surprised how many kids items. There was kids items. There was women clothes. There was so much jewelry. So it's not only home decor. It's clothing. There was so much jewelry, so many different bags, backpacks, sweatshirts, name it. But it was all done so classy. Like everyone, like if you're thinking about a house, everyone had their own house. It was decorated the way they wanted it to be decorated. All of the items was in certain order. They had the new items in sections. And I sent, actually what I posted last night was some of the new items that I actually got. They had the items that was all over. So it was decorated tastefully and everything was there. They did a great job. I can't say nothing bad about Atlanta markets. If you ever go to markets, go with some really good shoes because there's a lot of walking. I didn't get to meet John Mark, but his ribbon, I did get to see all of the ribbon that he has. Not the ones just that's on live. He has a lot of great colors, a lot. Then I got some, went to see Fair Silk, D. Stevens, all of them. Just was amazed. I can't even say anything bad about anything, the experience there. It was my first market here. And I was amazed when I even got the message and the invites from them saying that the stuff is going to be for spring. I'm like, spring? We ain't even hit Christmas yet. But yeah, they had everything. They had at least one item. They'll tell you when it's coming in. All of the stuff is not ready to ship right now. So they'll tell you when it's coming in. And you just accept it when it comes in. There's a lot of new ribbon colors, remixes of colors that's already out. I don't even know what else to say. If you live in Houston, if you live close by any of the markets, so Atlanta market is open year round. So those buildings stay like that year round. And I said it before, it's called ANDMORE. Just do and more for Atlanta and you will see exactly where it's at, downtown Atlanta, and just pop up. Just pop up on a day when you ain't got nothing to do because you'll be in there for a while. I know the vendors were tired because they were in there for at least a week, those long hours. There was some new vendors that had some unique items. Some of them, and you guys, you got to ask this question if you do go. Some of them were, you got to buy. One lady was, oh my gosh. Let me try to remember all of it. 10 containers. I still have that cough. 10 containers worth of items. Oh no. I was like, yeah, nice to meet you. Looks good. But 10 containers? Excuse me, I still got my cough. Yeah, what am I going to do with 10 containers? So, that was the store for me easily to ship, to go away. And keep it moving. She had beautiful items, but there was nothing. And some people may think, like, this isn't for me. Like, why am I even going to a wholesale market? If you even don't buy anything, the LLC, you do pay money. Some will tell you, some you have to ask. But there is cash and carry, and they are, I don't know if they are past items. They look good to me. I didn't see anything wrong with a lot of them. People were buying them. So just make sure you have cash because they don't accept anything else for cash and carry, is, you know, word says. And then I thought on Sundays, so when I used to go to my yarn market, on Sundays, the vendors didn't want to take all of the stuff back. So they would leave, they would give us the leftovers as cash and carry. Not here. Because they're permanently set up there in Atlanta, and I don't know what it's like in Texas, but they're permanently set up in Atlanta. They don't give you anything. They just close their door and they go home. But I have some of the books, and hopefully I'll be able to empty my suitcase and show you guys some of the samples and some of the books. But you only get samples if you buy. That's the only thing. Because I saw some ribbons that was really nice. I would love to have. But because I didn't buy it right then and there, they were like, nope, you can't have it. So I didn't get it. But it is what it is. If you ever have that type of opportunity to go for it, expand your horizon, see what else you can bring out there unique for your customer. I can't go too deep with that. But I got some flowers. We're going to put some flowers. We got to hide that little part back there. Yeah, so in order to be able to get your resale license in the 3 states that I've had mine, South Carolina, Georgia, and here in Florida, you had to get your LLC first. And guys, your LLC, I'm going to tell you, I had a lady that I used to do business with. She just paid somebody to do her LLC. Don't do that. Every state, and I'm saying it again, every state, your LLC is free. For us here in Florida, you go on sunbiz.com and you just apply it. You pay the $225, at least that's what it was when I got mine years ago, and you get the LLC. You have to pay for the LLC. You do not have to pay for the sales tax certificate. You have to have the sales tax certificate. That's the resale, so they can get sales tax when you sell your stuff. So I know some people only sell on Etsy, and Etsy pays your sales tax. Well, I've not had that before. I just started selling my stuff on Etsy. I have my own website where I pay the sales tax every quarter. So I had to get, but if you're on Etsy, you don't have to worry about getting LLC or anything like that, since Etsy pays it all for you. Your LLC is very, very easy to get. You go, for us, sunbiz.org. First thing you want to do, always do this first, is to search to see the name that you have or the name that you want to use is the name if anyone else is using it. Well, all of them, you will not get an LLC if somebody else is already using that name and they already registered. So for me, as soon as I come up with my business, this is my 2nd or 3rd business name, I immediately will go online and search for it. Make sure and search. Don't put in your application without doing a search. There is search and there's another tab for filing. So just do the search and make sure nobody else ain't using the same name you want to use or you are using. Nobody's using it. Immediately get your 225 and file, because if somebody else has that name, you can't do it. You can't do it. And having an LLC is really, really critical, especially for small businesses. The things that you're able to do. Also, after you get your LLC, go ahead and get your S Corp. Go ahead and get all of these things. Yo, I've been doing this. 2003 was my first business. Then I stopped. I came back. But I've been doing this for a while. I get everything. As soon as I file for one and it comes back, I file for the next one. And get your S Corp. Get your EIN. Maybe one day you want these employees. Maybe one day you want to do something. Get all of that stuff. It don't cost nothing. It's filing online and it's free. You use it. If you don't, you keep it in a warm place until you need to use it. But it literally is setting yourself up for if somebody comes around, and I learned about LLC when I opened in 23. If somebody comes around and want to sue the business, you're separated. The business is the business and you is you. That's why as soon as I get, don't forget the heart means thank you so much. As soon as I get my name, I'm doing that LLC. Before I even tell anybody the name, I'm getting my LLC. Because I don't want nobody come mess with your personal. That's the best way to keep your stuff separate. And it's free. The LLC is $225. It comes to you within 10 business days. Everything else, S Corp, tax certificate, and EIN, all free, just because you get the LLC. And keep everything in a good spot. Scan it into your computer, have it electronically. They'll ask you for it every which way you go. I just keep it on lock. You know, also, your resale license. You going in here with Sam's Club. You over there buying them ribbons at Sam's Club. Why? Why are you paying sales tax? You're about to put it in a ribbon. You take your, here's my tax certificate, no sales tax. You pay it when you get when the wreath sells. So these are some of the things that, I guess because I've had it for so long and know about it, for me it's like, I know I'm going in there. I actually go file mine. Sam's Club, Costco, BJ's. All of mine is on file with all three of them. Anytime I go in there, you want to make sure that, hey, what's tax deductible, you're buying for your family, that's a different card, that's a different thing. You're buying for yourself, that's over here, and here's my tax certificate, it's tax free. And they do send it up to the state, so don't go buying a whole bunch of stuff for your family. They do send it up to the state, and the state do audits. Yes. I'll tell you what happened to me. I had an employee at my first business, and I was over there, you struggling, you paying the rent, you paying all of these things, and I did not know that I was paying. So as an employer, you have to pay unemployment. And so I didn't realize that I wasn't paying enough. So based on the hours that person was working, I had to pay. One day I'm sitting, I ain't got no customers. This lady with a badge comes in. Now, you know when they got the badge, it ain't a good day. She's like, yeah, I just want to introduce myself. Here's my badge number. Here's my card. I just wanted to let you know that we found some problems. And we're going to go ahead and just let you know that you haven't been paying enough on your employee. And you need to step up. And this is how much you owe from the back ones you filed. You don't want that call. You don't want that information. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. So use that thing wisely. This guy here last week in Fort Lauderdale got arrested for not paying. He collected it, but he didn't pay it back to the state. Now they watch. They check everything. And with computers, an audit is so easy. So they check everything. So they arrested him. He was running a restaurant. And he was not paying his sales tax. So he would get the sales tax from the customer, which we all do. When you sell your items on Etsy, Etsy gets the sales tax from the customer. The customer remits the sales tax to Etsy. Etsy sends it for you in your name. They send it to your state. I think Shopify also started doing that. They'll send it to your state. Not all platforms do that, so you become responsible.